Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today. This is Clever, and I'm the partner relationship manager at Bytespeed. We've got our good friends today from Filewave, and we're so excited for them sharing about their wonderful MDM solution and really breaking down how it can be of use to you managing your devices or any operating system, whether it's Android or iOS or iPad OS, they cover it all. So I'll hand it right over to Gabe to take us through, and feel free to ask questions anytime. We'll like to make it as interactive as possible. So over to you, Gabe.
Hey, thank you, Clever. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate you guys at Bytespeed allowing us to go ahead and do this. We are so excited to partner with you guys and all, and you guys have been just great partners with us. And I know you push Filewave anywhere and everywhere that you can, and so thank you very much. As way of introduction, my name is Gabe Watson. I'm the account executive for the Northeast. We also have Sarah Ernest on here. She is the inside sales rep for the Northeast. Michael Hughes is your solutions engineer, and Callie Wagisback is our relationship manager between Filewave and Bytespeed. And so, as I tell everybody, this is a small portion of a great team here at Filewave to help support your customers and find different ways to make sure that we're doing everything in our power and ability to make sure as they test out Filewave, look at Filewave, or become part of the Filewave family, that is a smooth transition and everything is easy on them and most importantly, easy on you guys. So I'll go over a little bit of a high level overview of Filewave today. And as Clever said, if there are questions, feel free to stop us. We want to make sure that we ask those and that you guys have all the information that you need. I'll go through a couple slides and then I'll turn it over to Michael Hughes, who will go over a short demo, very high level of what Filewave looks like and how it's used within either school districts or in the enterprise space. So we'll get started here. As Clever mentioned, we definitely are an MDM, and so many times you see different people that are, hey, we do this in mobile device management. Well, all that has meant for so many years is we can help you manage iOS and Mac OS. Well, came in and said, hey, we need to do more. So we give you the ability to not only do iOS and Mac OS, but also your Windows machines from top to bottom within Filewave, as well as we go in and with the Google console, we give you a better feature set to add on to that on the Chrome side as well. And we can help with Android as well. So we're not just an MDM anymore. We're, as it says here at the top, a unified endpoint management, where we bring everything in-house and give you a single pane of glass to be able to go and manage those devices within the networks of, again, schools, enterprise, wherever that may be for your customers. Filewave has been around for 30 years as of next year, which is amazing. We were one of the first to ever do management. We've been with Apple for 30 years and Windows for 26 to 27 of those years. So we are deeply ingrained with both OSs and those environments and ecosystems. So we've seen it all. We've been able to go in and help troubleshoot a lot of the things that your customers are seeing, and so we have that ability to really be a great strategic partner for you. One of the questions that we always get asked is, hey, where's our support come from? What does support look like with Filewave? So as you can see, we have a global headquarters. We have one in Indianapolis as well as one in Europe. During the day, all of your support is going to come out of Indianapolis. Most of your customers, I always joke with when we talk to them, hey, I know IT is never up late at night, but if you are, there's people all over the US that are able to give support, as well as in those late midnight, late hours, there are English speaking support over seas if it is needed as well. So we really have your clients covered from top to bottom. One of the things that we also see is IT gives us 5 different challenges that we hear over and over again. And we feel that Filewave really helps be able to close the gap on. As you see, number 1, they need to connect to all the devices outside of their network or their domain. Many times, especially in these days and times, where in the world are my devices? I know they've got to leave campus, they've got to leave the workspace, but where are they? How do I connect to them? How do I make sure that our students or our end users have everything that they need? Well, that's where Filewave comes in and makes it easy on the IT staff to do. A growing and mixed OS environment, ever more so. Is that true today? And in ways that we probably never thought possible, or never thought, hey, we're going to have to, in the middle of a pandemic, come up and go, hey, we have to get devices to everybody. How do we do that? We need our kids still being able to learn and be in school. We need our employees to be at home and working. How do we do that? So more so than ever have those devices been growing and changing, and different types of OSs being mixed all in the same ecosystem. Filewave has found a way to be able to help with that. I need a way to track my assets. Where in the world are they? Are they configured the way I need them to? What's installed on them? Are my end users using what they're supposed to? Do they need what they have to be successful in their day-to-day lives? And that's where we can help you track those assets. Staff is spending a ton of time troubleshooting and needing find ways to get to the issues quicker, on network, off network, whatever it may be. They need help in closing that time frame on turnarounds with troubleshooting. And then we have too many management tools to deploy and configure. And going back to number 2, we're that mixed OS environment, right? So, hey, I've got to have a tool for Windows. I got to have a tool for Mac or Android or Chrome. No longer is that true. Filewave has come in and said, we will give you one single pane of glass to be able to manage everything from and make it easy on you. One of the great things about Filewave that I tell people is it's not, we give you all these tools, but we don't tell you, hey, you have to use it this way. Filewave works in different environments differently. Not every environment is the same, whether it looks the same or not. We know when we talk to our clients and our customers, hey, everybody does it a little bit differently. And that's where Filewave gives them the ability to do things they want to do, but we give them the toolkit to be able to make it happen how they want to happen. And one of the greatest pieces of Filewave, as you'll see here, is it's all inclusive. So you can go to your clients and your customers with confidence of, listen, it's not a la carte. You don't have to pick. Filewave gives you a complete solutions, no questions asked. And what you'll see here is kind of what we see as the life cycle of these devices. So imaging and provisioning for those Windows machines, right? Imaging, that's a big piece of what they're doing, and getting those images on the devices. Well, Filewave gives you the ability to do that right there easily within the console. So, hey, I have an image and I need this group to have this image, this group to have this image. You can create all those different images and easily deploy them through Filewave. And software and application deployment. Hey, what software does this group need? What software does this person need? This end user need? What applications are they needing? We can help them be able to deploy all of that. And one of the ways that we can do that without having to give away admin rights is through our self-service kiosk. So a kiosk that can be set out there, and anything that you want to put in it, that your clients say, hey, I need to send out a document, or I need a software application, or even a patch that needs to go out, or an OS update that needs to go out. Any of this can be put in the self-service kiosk for their end users to go and grab when they want to. And no longer does IT have to worry about, I've got to give away admin rights for this person and this person just so that they can deploy or download something that's needed. OS and third-party patch management, as you see here. So we're tied in with Apple and Windows to where it pulls in If you want to see all the OS updates, security patches, whatever it may be, you can see that. But with Filewave, it actually will parse it down to the exact device, and that device needs this specific patch or OS update, and you can deploy that straight from Filewave if you want to. So one of the beauties that I tell everybody is your clients can be as high level with Filewave as they want, or as granular as they want to be with Filewave and how they manage their devices. Remote desktop. So for Windows and Mac, you can remote in, ask permission, hover. There's different ways that the remote desktop option is used within Filewave. Device tracking, which is big these days. Everybody wants to know, where in the world are my devices? Well, literally, we can show you on a map where in the world they are, with usually within 400 to 600 feet of where that device is. Device discovery. Hey, I know there's devices out in my network. What are those devices? Well, with a simple ping, you can send it out and find out, hey, these are the different devices in my network. Do I want to manage them? What do I want to do with them? Filewave gives you the ability to go out and do that. Asset management, right? So a big term that's used, there's a bunch of different types of asset management companies out of there. Filewave says, hey, let's bring that in. Let's make that part of this all-inclusive option that we give, where you can manage your devices and see everything that they've got, build reports off of those devices. If you want to get granular and find out, hey, who's logged in to this device? How many times have they logged into this device? You can build those type of reports out of your asset management portion of Filewave. If you want to take your license purchase orders and bring them into Filewave and say, hey, here's, for my software, how many licenses did we buy? How many did we deploy? Filewave gives you a way to add that in. And it's really speaking on that granular piece is software usage. Hey, we bought all these licenses. It was really expensive, and we deployed them to 10 different people. Well, I can see that end user A, B, and C have only opened this 3 times in 3 months for 30 minutes. Well, that was that was expensive software. Either maybe that gives your clients the ability to go, hey, we no longer need to allow end user A, B, and C to have that. We're not going to renew that license, or we'll move those licenses around. So whatever they decide to do, but it gives them the information they need to be able to make better choices within their own environments. And then the bread and butter really of Filewave and one of our patented technologies is our self-healing. So your end users and your clients are able to go out and be able to take a snapshot of, maybe it's a piece of software that they send out, or a package, or the overall image of a device. They can take a snapshot of what that looks like when they deploy it, if it is moved, if it is corrupted, if somebody messes with that file or whatever it may be. Filewave, by default, every 24 hours or upon reboot of a device, will fix itself. It will fix whatever that deployment was that was sent out. So that self-healing it allows your end users to know that whatever I sent out, I don't have to constantly worry about cleaning it up. Filewave cleans it up for me. So peace of mind that, hey, what we're sending out is going to stay out there the way we sent it out. So that's huge for the IT staff and what they're trying to do. Auto resuming deployments. So, hey, we sent out a deployment or a download, the power went out, they closed the lid on their laptop, any of that. If that stops that deployment or download, upon it opening the lid back up, or power coming back, upon starting of that machine again, it will pick up where it left off. So no longer do you have to worry about, hey, we're starting all over from scratch, or did they really get the deployment I sent? Because of auto resuming deployments, you can rest easy knowing that it got out there and it got deployed to those machines. So again, big for your IT team, and time saving, bandwidth, all of that. So this is just a high level overview of all the things that Filewave can do. As I said, it can be very high level. It can actually be very granular if you want it to be. And I will allow Michael Hughes, our solutions engineer, to hop on here and bring up his UI, and so that you can actually see Filewave in action. Michael?
Thank you, sir. Give me 1 second here and I'll share my screen for you guys.
As he does that, are there any questions currently? All right. Maybe I just did such a good job. Give Michael 1 second. I believe he's hopping back on here. One of the questions that we get asked a lot is pricing. So one of the things that you, as you go through, your clients can know is there's, for school and education, it is based on either a per device per year, or for schools, they have what we call site licenses, where they can have as many devices as they want based upon the student count. So this is really great, knowing that everything in a growing environment, that they can have a standard pricing every year for what, no matter how many devices are in there. So that's for schools. So that's a great thing for them to know. And then also on the enterprise side, it is per device per year. So just things to keep in your back pocket and remember when it comes to those questions of how pricing is done. Michael?
Thank you, Gabe. Sorry, I got kicked out and got to come back in the room real quick. So I'm Michael Hughes. As Gabe mentioned, I am the senior systems engineer here for Filewave. I'm going to take you through a very high overview of the Filewave UI and what few things we can do inside of Filewave. So when you first log into Filewave, this is your Filewave admin. So this is our client screen. Here's where all your devices will live inside of Filewave. A couple ways we get devices to come into Filewave. We're talking Windows and Mac. We have a custom MSI for your Windows devices and a custom PKG for your Mac devices. For your Windows devices, we can bake the Filewave client into the image if you do an imaging process to get those devices to enroll in Filewave. We can do a manual enrollment where you can send out the MSI and have your end users install that if you'd like to do that. For your Mac devices, once again, we do have a custom PKG. We can use the Apple device enrollment program. If you want to wipe your devices and bring them into Filewave, or once again, we do have that manual enrollment process. For your iOS devices, well, we're going to recommend using DEP. You will have that one-time wipe in there where your devices will wipe it and we will actually enroll into Filewave, giving you that full supervision capabilities of all your devices. For your Android devices, we can enroll those as well with a custom URL for those devices as well. For your Chromebook devices, we would push out an extension through the GAC suite that would show all your Chromebooks inside of Filewave. So I'm going to run you through the UI here and show you what a couple of devices look like inside of Filewave, how they function in Filewave, and what we can do inside of Filewave. So I'll start with a Mac device here. Just to drop down 1 second. Give me 1 second here to open up my UI back. And we're back. Okay, great. So now I'm going to touch on a Mac device here and show you what it looks like inside of Filewave. Double click my device and we're going to give you a few different options here. File set status. Anytime you push any software, any apps, any scripts to a Mac device, I can come in here and I can see if it's active on the device. I can tell if it's available in the end user kiosk. So with Filewave, we give you the ability to push out software to your end users to give them the optional install method, where if you don't give local admin rights to your users, we actually can give you that ability to where they do have the ability to install or uninstall without being local admins on the device. Device details. Once you enroll a device inside of Filewave, we inventory that device, give you every piece of information you might need from that device. Command history for a Mac device. This is real-time information we're giving you when you push out software or a profile to a Mac device that's MDM enrolled. We give you live-time information to tell you when stuff is happening. Installed apps or the apps that you have installed on the device. Profiles here. We do give you a user's log. So if you're in, you're in a district and you want to know, or our company you want to know who logs into these devices, who's logging into them, or the remote devices, or the BYODs, or the company owned. We can give you that information. We give you a policy tab if you want the Filewave to run at certain times of the day. And then that location tracking, as Gabe mentioned, location tracking is across the board inside of Filewave. Whether it be any device you want to location track, we can do that. For your Mac and Windows devices, we give you the ability to use remote desktop. That is a BNC built into the client, where we can actually go in and remote into the device itself. You can prompt the end user to let you in, or you can go in with hover mode and do it yourself. We have remote wipe built into Filewave as well. So I can remote wipe these devices, whether they're on my network or they're off my network. I can remote wipe a device. If you have somebody, you have a device lost, or you have a device you think is stolen, we can set the remote wipe flag. Once it hits a network somewhere, it will do the remote wipe process. For a Mac device, it'll throw the folder with a question mark inside of it. For a Windows device, it will blue screen that device, completely erasing the hard drive on both devices. For your iOS devices, real fast, I will show you what it looks like as well. Double click, you'll see a lot of the same tabs in here. File set status, anytime I push an app, profile, they'll show here. Device details, once again, we're going to inventory that device, give you every piece of information you might need from that device. For iOS, serial number probably being the most important piece of inventory you might need from that device. To check warranty status, if you have a client or an end user come in and say, hey, my device, I broke it. Here is the serial number that you have set in front of you. Now I can check the warranty for them. I don't have them to have to take the case off of it, go searching for the serial number. I have that information right in front of me. Command history, once again, anytime you do anything, I can show you lifetime information. Managed apps are the apps you give and take. Installed apps, any app you have installed on those iOS devices, I can tell you all those apps. Documents to show here, profiles here, and then once again, that location tracking for those devices. Remote wipe for iOS. We definitely can remote wipe iOS devices with the remove activation lock probably being the most handy check mark in this box here. So if I have somebody bring me a device in that says, I'm leaving, here you can have it back. Well, they're signed into it with their own Apple ID and password. Well, they're not going to give you that information because they don't want you to have their password, let's be honest. So we can use the remove activation lock checkbox, remote wipe that device, get rid of their information, and actually remote wipe it and give it to somebody else if we need to. For a Windows device, real quickly, you will see all the same options. You'll see the same options across the board for every device inside of Filewave. That's one thing I always like to talk about at this point. Filewave is definitely cross-platform where you can use the Filewave admin running on a Windows or a Mac device, and everything functions exactly the same. Nothing changes. Nothing on the screen changes. Everything will do exactly the same. For a Windows device, file set status. Once again, anytime you push software scripts, you can come in here and see if they're running on the device itself. Device details, we inventory that device. Once again, anything you want to know from that device, we can give it to you. We give you that user's log, the policy tab, and that location tracking for those devices as well. A couple things I like to talk about here is actually we can utilize smart groups. And smart groups is based off inventory of data that we pull from devices. So you can actually set up a smart group, set the criteria to that smart group. Once the device enrolls in a Filewave and meets the criteria of that smart group, it automatically enrolls in that smart group and automatically start pulling down anything you have associated to that group. So it's going to give you that automation feel that you might want. So I can come in, I can pre-stage everything inside of Filewave. I can come back and set up my groups. I can set up my software to those groups. And the very last step is to enroll a device. Once the device enrolls, meets that criteria, it will enroll that group and start pulling down all the software scripts, whatever you have associated to that group. Chromebooks real quick. So I can touch on Chromebooks real fast. We do enhance the GAC suite. We do not replace the GAC suite, but we do enhancements on top of it. So once you can create the hook between GAC and Filewave, you can see all your devices inside your Filewave admin now. I can see all my OUs I built inside of Filewave. I can see all my devices inside of Filewave. A few things we give you to enhance the GAC suite. We give you inventory information from that device. Anything you want to know, we're going to give it to you. Chromebook data is any customized stuff that you put in the GAC suite. We can pull that into Filewave. Users tab, once again, location tracking is built in for Chromebooks. We can deprovision your Chromebooks if we want to inside of Filewave. The last two features we can do inside of Filewave, we can build OUs inside of Filewave, and it will mirror back to your GAC suite. So if you want to build OUs, you forgot to build one inside GAC, we can do it for you inside of Filewave. We can disable your Chromebooks inside of Filewave. If you have one that you think is lost or whatever, we can disable that Chromebook. And then the last feature is we can drag and drop devices between OUs. So I have a device here. It needs to be in 2023. I made a mistake inside GAC. I put it in the wrong OU. I drag and drop, and it will actually move to 2023. I hit update model. It will replicate back to my GAC suite, start pulling down any extensions I have associated inside of the GAC suite. Moving down to our file set screen. Here's where we're going to build all of our software inside of Filewave. For your Mac and Windows, we have 9 different options for you. For an app and folder, if you have anything you just want to throw out there on the device, you need to have a link or a desktop, something, a PDF you want to put on a desktop somewhere, we can do that. Empties are for scripts or EXEs you want to run. We can drop them in there and make them execute. OS patch management, as Gabe mentioned, we can do your Microsoft Windows Microsoft Windows, Mac, and iOS updates through Filewave. We are parsing the exact same catalog for Apple and Microsoft, so we can pull all those updates in for you and deploy those out. Profiles. If you have got Mac devices or iOS devices and you've done profiles, we can build your profiles straight from the Filewave console and deploy those out. If you have profiles already built and you can export them, we can import them into Filewave and keep using those profiles if you want to. You don't have to recreate the wheel. We can keep using them, or you can come in and build brand new ones. Completely up to you how you do that. We are fully integrated with the Apple App Store. If you want to pull Apple apps in, we can do that. Third-party MSI and PKGs. So if you have any third-party software that you want to pull in, you don't have to customize it. You want to get into Filewave, you want to get it out to these devices as quick as you can. We can do that. We can import it in, package it up, send it out, make it install. If you have third-party software that you have to customize, we have a patent called FileSet Magic. How FileSet Magic works is it'll take a snapshot of the hard drive in its current state that it sits. It'll come back, tell you to install any software, license that software, customize it any way you need to customize it. It's going to come in, do another snapshot, compare the 2 snapshots, and build a file set based off the changes. So when it imports in a Filewave, it'll come in, import it to the way you customize it. That way, when you deploy it out, it will go out customized. So with FileSet Magic, we give you what we call the self-healing feature. So if you do a FileSet Magic package, it's going to be set to self-healing. If that package gets virus corrupted, somebody deletes it, something changes in that package, with reboot or check in 24 hours, that package will go back out to exactly the way it was when you originally created it and sent it out. Moving down to our association screen. Once you have your devices inside of Filewave, we have our software built inside of Filewave. How do we get that software to our devices? We do a simple drag and drop method. You see all my software in my right-hand pane. You see all my devices in my left-hand pane. If I want to push every Mac OS software I have in here, I want to make it to all my Mac devices, I drag and drop it onto whatever group I want it to. I can drag and drop it to a parent folder, and it will go to all the children in that folder. Or I can do it to individual folders, individual devices. However I want to do that is completely up to you guys. I can come down in here and you see that we give you even more options. I can tell you when to download it. I can tell it when to be active on the device. We can set the reboot deadline on that. So for all your security updates for Microsoft and Apple, they're rebootable updates. I can set the reboot deadline for that device. Once that device hits a reboot deadline somewhere, it will start the reboot process and install that security update. If it's a rebootable update that you do not set the reboot deadline for, it will prompt the end user at 15, 30, 45, and 90 minutes. They can decline it as many times as they want to until they install it. But you can always come back in after the fact, set the reboot deadline, make that device reboot, and install the updates if you want to. Imaging for Windows real fast. We can do imaging for Windows. We can do Goldmaster imaging. That is an on-prem Pixie Boot virtual machine we give you. You install it on your network. You can build a Goldmaster image for all your models of PCs inside your company or district, and do driver injections on top of that. So I know that I can build one image, a very thin image for all my Windows devices, and come in, go to my manufacturer's website, and I can grab drivers for those devices, those specific models. I come in, I associate it down here, and then once the imaging process takes place, I can inject the drivers on top of it too. And once the image is completely finished, all my drivers will be there. Apple Classroom. If anybody's using Apple Classroom, we can actually integrate with Apple Classroom. You can do all your adjustments in here. iOS inventory. Anytime you enroll an iOS device, it's another place we can go look at those iOS devices. License management. How license management where we connect with VPP. So anything you do inside your Apple Business Manager or Apple School Manager, we can integrate that with Filewave. You can see all the apps you purchased. You can see how many you've got installed on what devices and what token you bought them from inside of Filewave. You can bring your own licenses into Filewave and keep a running count of it. You can see I have an Office 365 license in here. I own 15. I've got it installed on one device, so I'm in compliant right now. I even brought my own Photoshop license in here. Photoshop is an expensive piece of software. I own 5. I've got it installed on 2 machines. So we can keep a running count. We will check all your devices inside of Filewave to see if they have that application on there or not. Boosters or low-level caching servers you can have spread out your company or your district. How they work is I can spin a booster up on any subnet I want to, and the devices that are on the same subnet with that booster will grab software scripts or whatever I have associated from the booster, keeping the traffic local instead of coming back across your WAN to the main Filewave server. We do give you a fail-safe in there. You can have up to 5 boosters that will fail-safe over to the next one if one goes down, all the way back to your main Filewave server. You can spin up a booster in a DMZ if you want to. If you have devices that are outside your network, but you still want to be able to push software to them, we can spin up a booster inside your DMZ where the devices can connect to that booster and still pull that software down from your main Filewave server. With boosters, we will give you device discovery. You can spin up a booster in any subnet you want to, run a device discovery scan. We can tell you every piece of network equipment that's on that subnet, whether it be printers, switches, TVs, smart thermostats, Apple TVs, whatever. We're going to pull you that information and put it here in report for you to see what's out there on your network. And the last thing here real quick is inventory queries. Inventory queries is the most granular thing we have inside of Filewave. There's over 3,000 basic inventory queries you can build queries off of, but we also have custom inventory queries. So you can get limitless on what you want to pull and what you want to see from the devices. We give you some already. If I want to see all my Mac devices, I can look that information. If I want to see all my Windows 10 devices, I can see that. Then I get down here to some that I've customized and I built myself. Windows software usage analytics. So for Mac and Windows, I can tell you every piece of software that's on your Mac and Windows devices, the vendor it is, the version it's running, the time it's been launched, the total time it's been used, even the last launch date. So if you're having to buy software for any of your schools or any of your customers, you can come in here and you can look at this and see how much they're actually utilizing the software. If they're not utilizing the software, you can take it, you can give it to somebody else and do what you want, and you do have the data to back that up. I made some for BitLocker status. I want to see all my devices that have BitLocker enabled and if they're fully decrypted and what the client name is. For my Macs, I have show me all my devices with Photoshop on it. Tell me if File Vault's enabled. I want all my devices that File Vault is turned on. I get down in here some and tell me all my devices by certain location. This is one of those custom inventory queries I built. I added a location as a custom inventory query. I pushed it out to the devices that I know are in this high school. Now I want you to populate that list and tell me what's all there. Show me all my devices that have less than 50 gig of storage space, regardless of platform. Give me that information. The most popular one I have right now is active user logins. We have a lot of customers calling me up and say, hey, I want to know what user is on what device at that moment. Well, I can give you that information. I can tell you every user, the username, the login date, what type OS they're running, and even the device name if we want to put that information in there as well. So that for me is a very high level overview of Filewave. Gabe, I'll turn it back over to you. If there's any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer those questions.
Yeah, definitely. Are there any questions right now? All right. Well, if there's any questions after this, please feel free to reach out to your rep at Bytespeed and or reach out to us, and we'll be happy to answer those for you. We appreciate your time today. And Clever, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate it. That was a really great overview, and we'll make sure to send the recording over for your reference if you've got anyone you want to forward it to or look over anything in your own time. And thanks again for attending. We really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.